Punta Gorda Tower, November 7284 Golf on Delta, holding short of runway 4 for takeoff, VFR to the northeast.
Number 7284 Golf, Punta Gorda Tower, runway 4, northeast departure cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 84 Golf.
Runway 4.
1453 Sierra, runway 4, clear touch and go on departure, fly heading 090, maintain 2000.
Cleared, final, no one's coming in.
Clear touch and go runway 4, 090, up to 2000 on departure, yeah.
Alright, we'll get a little more to the right here, actually line up on center line, and on the yoke. A little bit of back pressure, just hold off. There we go. Alrighty, full power, right rudder. Power all the way in. There we go. Looking for our airspeed. Our airspeed's coming alive. That's good. Engine instruments are all in the green. Looking for about 60 to 70 here. Start to pull back on the yoke. Pull back. Should be taking off. There you go. And now, just like before, we don't really want to see too much of the horizon, but you want to kind of put that nose right about where that horizon would be. Okay. And you're going to be pretty close to 80. So it's easier to just look up outside and kind of maintain that pitch.
All right.
Than trying to chase airspeed the whole time. But obviously you're looking in here, double check, you're doing good. All right, so one thing we have to worry about is Arcadia, or Shell Creek.
Jumpers or?
Yep, they got a lot of parachute operations. I don't know if they're active today, but pretty much, as long as we can pretty much fly this heading out all the way to Arcadia. So runway 4, when you take off, you pretty much just keep flying this heading and you'll wind up at Arcadia.
Okay. Is Arcadia a viable cross-country stop, or it's too close?
No, yeah, it's only a few miles. It's only 18 nautical miles, so to be a cross-country, it needs to be at least 50. So we'll climb out the... such a short hop. Let's do like just 1500.
Okay.
Yeah, 42 degrees magnetic heading, so pretty much 40.
Punta Gorda Tower, Sirius 800 Kilo Pop at runway 4, ready for departure.
November 800 Kilo Papa, Punta Gorda Tower, hold short runway 4, landing traffic.
Being short runway 4, landing traffic, 0 Kilo Pop.
Number 728 for Golf, were you going to turn eastbound or are you going to go northeastbound?
Northeast, sorry about that, A for Golf.
Roger, proceed on course.
On course, A for Golf. I don't know if you said east or northeast or
I
what.
thought I said northeast. This is northeast.
Yeah, he thought you said east.
Oh.
So he's like, hey, you're kind of pointed northeast, you're not really pointed east. All right, we're on here at 15, so go and push forward on yoke, pitch, power, and trim. So pitch here. There we go, pull back the power now to 22. And trim as necessary.
Echo Foxtrot, Punta Gorda Tower, continue.
We're still climbing. So pitch first, pitch where you want it, so hold it here, right? So we want it, yeah, right about here, this is going to be fairly level.
All right.
So we want it here where we see about this much of the ground, and if you're trying to push forward to hold that,
prior to your
or pull back,
you
know, trim as necessary in order to kind of relieve that pressure. Otherwise, if you start flying with the trim, then it's going to get really hard to fine tune.
Okay. Cleared for takeoff, what was your direction?
I'll be southbound.
0 Kilo Papa, right turn southbound is approved. Just make sure we're squawking 1200.
We're still climbing a little bit.
1200.
There we go. Go back down. All right, so
Right turn out approved.
planning kind of our descent into Arcadia, so it's going to happen really quick. The winds are coming from the east. Right, it was like 60 or something. So kind of northeast. So as far as runways, if the wind's coming from this direction, what runway is probably the best to use?
Is it 9?
Up here, this is Arcadia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the wind's coming from the east, northeast, kind of 60-degree heading.
6?
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty much headwind.
Where's it? Go headwind.
Oh, we go into 6.
Yeah.
Pretty much have a direct headwind there.
I got an issue here where my GPS, I never turned that off. I told you about.
Oh yeah.
Can you take the controls for just a moment?
My controls.
Lee's in 1622. We'll be ready.
1622, Punta Gorda Tower, Roger, old short runway 4. Got one on final.
Third 4, Lee's in 1622.
I was hearing proceed to the route 3,000 times while we were flying. Thank you.
Yep. Your controls. Alright, so let's go ahead and swap over to Arcadia's frequency. So that is 1, 2. Let me look it up. 1, 2, 3, 0.
Should I do this one since it's...
No, that's a nav radio.
Okay, so we want to
It's fine to just go ahead and do this one. So big numbers, big knob here. So 1, 2, 3. And then the bottom knob down here does after the dot there, just 0. Right? Yep. Now go ahead and swap that over to active. That way we can start listening to Arcadia. It also gets rid of this annoying clicking sound with the strobe.
Gotcha.
Now we can kind of see, okay, this is kind of how they don't have weather at Arcadia. So we just, it literally just tells us to use Punta Gorda's weather. So because of that, we have a few ways of kind of, guessing. I mean, for one, we can even look down there and see
fire.
Smoke. Yeah, so that's an easy way to kind of tell that the wind's still coming the same direction. You could always, if you fly into an airport that doesn't have weather information, overfly the field at least 500 feet above pattern altitude, and then kind of figure out which way the windsock is blowing.
Okay.
And then kind of enter in down the downwind and fly the pattern in that way. But we're pretty confident that the wind's coming out from the east, northeast, so we can go ahead and plan to set up for runway 6. So if we're going to plan for 6, there's a few ways we can kind of enter the pattern.
It's left traffic.
Yes.
So
over all the runways out here are going to be left traffic.
And you said it's kind of a short runway, so
it's shorter than Punta Gorda for sure.
So maybe overfly the runway and then turn for a 45 entry to downwind, or no?
Yeah, so the way you have a few options. So if we have a runway here, we can fly inbound, and what you have to do is do a right turn.
Departure,
we are a 45
miles to the west at 1,000. We're going to join.
The way we do that is we overfly the field,
degrees
500 feet above traffic pattern altitude, fly outbound for 2 miles, and make that right turn. By the time you make that right turn, you're going to be about a mile out from this runway here.
Okay.
And then we'll be on downwind, base, the final.
Perfect.
And then we could stay in the pattern that way.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's probably the best way. You could theoretically just come straight in.
Okay.
I mean, we do that all the time with instrument stuff, but it's not the preferred method, and this is just a little bit more safer. Flying up, we're above pattern altitude, so we'll actually have to descend to pattern altitude after we cross outbound past the runway here. So we're looking at where we're coming in. We're pretty much coming in kind of at an angle here to runway 6, so let's kind of cut right just a little bit.
Okay.
So we can enter in more at a 90-degree angle to the runway. And it will take a second here to see kind of... Usually easier to see. So that's the city of Arcadia over there.
All right.
So the airport is going to be just to the right of it. There's a grassy area over there. Actually, you can kind of see there's a big building, and that's a hangar.
All right.
There on the field. Now go ahead and put your heading bug on 60. That way you can kind of have an idea of the runway there that we're coming into. So we're almost lined up kind of parallel with the runway right now.
That's somebody.
Arcadia traffic,
Blue Cirrus, about 12 miles out on the RNAV Alpha approach for runway 6, Arcadia.
Control traffic, wake up 311, turning left base, runway 5.
Which I can see over Arcan and sorry, traffic.
We're 4 miles out.
Clearwater traffic,
Oh, no, 4
Sky
minutes.
Alpha 2,500 feet, holding a tower, Clearwater.
6 miles out.
Yeah. Arcadia traffic sky 728 per Golf, 6 miles southwest. Inbound, we'll be overflying the field at 1500 and entering a right teardrop for a left downwind runway 6, Arcadia. Kind of wordy, but I got the point across.
Yeah, I've heard that before, just like
I
that.
probably shouldn't have said right teardrop because that gets confusing as like right or left downwind.
Uh,
But it's a teardrop entry for a left,
Left
downwind for runway 6. I can see the runway out over there off our left. Don't know what you're looking for. It is a little bit weird, but.
Okeechobee traffic, Skymaster 726 out.
Alright, so the other thing is we want to start our descent planning. Actually, no.
Going to join the
Pattern altitude is 1,000 feet. We're at 1,500 here. Let me double check that. That's 1,000. So every once in a while it's a little bit off. It's actually at 1,100 here. So let's
gain a couple feet.
Yeah, let's try to climb up just a little bit to get to 1,600.
Roger, we're about your 11 o'clock right now, under you about 500 feet. Very good, we're out of 1,500 now. Roger, we're level 1,000, 726 up here.
Clearwater traffic, Sky 46101, 2,000 feet, heading west over Dunedin Causeway, Clearwater.
Is this is that all real traffic for Arcadia, or is that a real common?
Yeah, it's common. Any kind of, that's what I call the CTAP or Common Traffic Advisory Frequency. It's going to encompass, I mean, that was clear water.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place.
All right, we're at about 1,600.
Arcadia traffic sky 728 per Golf, 4 miles to south, overflying the field at 1,500 for a left, teardrop left downwind entry, runway 6, Arcadia.
And Okeechobee traffic, Skymaster 726 up here is midfield, left downwind, runway 5, full stop.
Okeechobee is cross country because it's far enough out there.
I've been there before once with Gene.
Yeah. I don't know if I landed at Okeechobee. I did one. Everglades?
Arcadia traffic, Blue Cirrus on a 6 mile final runway, 6 on the RNAV Alpha. Should be a touch to go, Arcadia.
They're flying a little bit faster probably. Being a Cirrus. Oh, they're on an instrument approach, so. Alright, so let's keep flying towards let's cut right just a little bit more so we can kind of intercept more of the 90-degree angle here. Bunch of orange trees down there.
Okeechobee traffic, wake up 311, departure, turning left down, runway 5, back to.
They had a big grass strip there too. Kind of intersects the
Oh yeah,
runway.
I see it.
Pretty nice one. I was doing pattern work here in Arcadia, and they had someone that taxied out and was trying to do pattern work on the grass strip.
Oh wow.
But that interferes with our pattern. I was like, what? We end up just leaving and going.
Like those school bus derbies.
I'll be joining a left base for runway 5, Okeechobee.
Alright, we can kind of cut left a little bit now.
Clear traffic,
Just do a nice, slow, shallow turn. So even less than that. Just so that way we kind of end up right in the middle of
Field, South Street, and left downwind behind downwind traffic.
Traffic sky 46101, about 2 miles west of Honeymoon Island.
Alright, so now try to get this off your right wing. That's the runway heading.
Okeechobee traffic, wake up 311, turning left base, runway 5, Okeechobee.
Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 for Golf, overflying the field at 1600 and entering a teardrop for a left downwind runway 6 Arcadia. Alright, so now I want to fly out 2 miles. As we start to get past pattern altitude here, we go ahead and start to pull back the power. We'll pull back to 1700. And again, we're not descending a ton, right? So watch your bank. Don't start banking yet. We just want to start a descent.
Final runway 5, station Golf.
Flying outbound 2 miles. Kind of on the other side of the city here.
There's an antique store down here that has a bunch of very nice World War II wings for sale. Yep, like 50, 60 bucks. Bird.
That's cool.
Big bird.
Alrighty, let's wait just a little bit more.
Okay.
Alright, and then be watching for 1100 because we'll round out there. Alright, you go ahead and make your right turn.
Traffic, Musketeer 6017 November is 6 miles to the west and down for landing.
Getting a little bit busy. Alright, let's turn a little bit sharper. Alrighty. And we're going to round off here, so start to add that power back to 2000. And pitch up. We actually stop our descent. Alright, now we'll shallow out the bank just a little bit. That's the runway over there. Add a little bit of power, let's get back to 2000. And just take your hand off it so you don't mess with it. And retrim a little bit because we're still thinking. Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 for Golf, left 45 downwind, runway 6 Arcadia. Yeah, wind's blowing us. So someone just took off.
Oh yeah.
Keep it flying straight here.
Okay.
The wind's pushing us, so. Alright, now we'll go ahead and make our right turn. Downwind. Get that orange guy behind us. Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 for Golf, left downwind, runway 6, Arcadia.
Arcadia traffic, Blue Cirrus, departing the pattern, out towards the southeast now, last call Arcadia.
That's us, isn't it?
Yeah, keep it coming right a little bit sharper.
Okeechobee traffic, the red V12 is 5 miles to the
Alright, so carb heat on.
west.
And we're being our touchdown
I'll be
points, so we're going to pull back the
joining,
power to 15.
A final for runway 5 for a full stop. Okeechobee.
And 10 degrees flat.
Okeechobee, like after 11, left crossing, runway 5.
Perfect. Now keep it coming right just a little bit because the winds are kind of angled inward.
Traffic, Musketeer 6017 November is about 3 miles to the west and down for landing. I'll be joining in left downwind for runway 6 at Arcadia.
Alrighty, so now we're looking for that 45-degree mark. So wherever, we're landing at the numbers there. The numbers are kind of hard to see. Wait till right about here. Go ahead and make our left turn. Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 for Golf, turning left base, runway 6, Arcadia. Alright, hard to see in a high wing.
I can watch that.
Yeah.
Bug.
A little bit off, but it'll work, get you close, because now we can kind of look out and see where the runway is.
So we want to be about 80 now.
Yeah, roughly, but it really should just be looking at the runway, because the wind's going to be pushing us, adjusting, so we kind of have to adjust for the wind. Alright, next notch of flaps.
Okeechobee traffic, the red V12 is now
Right,
at
keep it coming right. We're kind of
for
angled in
runway
just a little
5,
bit.
full stop. Okeechobee.
Pull back the power a little bit. We're
Arcadia
high.
traffic, Musketeer 6017 November, entering left downwind for runway 6, Arcadia.
Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 per Golf, turning final runway 6, touch and go, Arcadia. Alright, so now we need to add some of that power back to 15. Kind of watching out at that runway now, so adjust your turn, kind of enter right on final and center line. Using those lights kind of as a little bit of a backup, but really just trying to, okay, there we go. Now we're pretty good. So, level it off here. 1500 is going to keep you pretty close to our desired speed, so put in that last notch of flaps. We should be pretty close to 70. We're pitching for airspeed using power for our altitude, but right now really kind of just focused on trying to keep that nose coming down towards the runway, towards the numbers there. And then just the only thing we're really checking the side for is making sure that we're not getting too slow. Alright, keep it coming down. Looking at the end of the runway, let it come down a little bit. There you go, pull that. Very good. Alright, so carb heat off. And flaps up. Alright, full power.
17 November, left base, runway 6, Arcadia.
460, 70. Alright, very good. Thank you. A little bit breezy down there. Make sure we're at least climbing at 80, if not a little bit slower.
Okay.
Arcadia traffic, must be
70 is our VX.
On final, runway 6.
And there's a little more,
Full stop, Arcadia.
stuff out here at the departure end of the runway.
Alright.
Just want to make sure that we're plenty high. Alright, so 300 feet below traffic pattern altitude is when we make our left turn.
Alright.
What is traffic pattern altitude?
1100.
Yep. So we're going to make our turn about 800.
Okay.
Alright, kind of start our left turn.
Alright.
Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 per Golf, turning left cross on runway 6, Arcadia. Basically, the difference between, you want to always end, start and end your calls with whatever airport you're at, and just say what you're doing. I usually do in the turn, 'cause it's easier to see a plane when their wings are banked than when they're straight and level.
Gotcha.
So as we turn the downwind now, yep, pull that power to 2000. Arcadia traffic, Skyhawk 728 per Golf, turning left downwind runway 6, Arcadia. Keep that bank coming in though. Otherwise we'll get way too far out here. Especially in windier conditions, we want to make sure we're not getting too far away from the runway, because if we do lose an engine, we want to be able to get back. Now it helps that we have that grass runway there, so we always kind of cut down and come that way. But that's generally, we just kind of watch out for that.
Okay.
Alright, so this should be a little bit easier. We have a little bit longer time on downwind now. Kind of get set up.
Over downtown Clearwater inbound 16 square traffic.
Alright, so now if we want to go ahead and do carb heat, now we're on downwind. Easiest thing I've always come up with just kind of correcting for wind and not drifting too far or too close is finding a point out in front of you and just kind of flying towards that point.
Okay.
And then you're going to be automatically correcting for that wind drift out off to the side. You don't have to worry about getting too close or too far away from the runway.
Okay.
So as our wing strut crosses our touchdown point or our aiming point that we're coming in to land, we're going to go ahead and pull back that power to 17. And throw some flaps in. And really, you can almost just let it do its thing. Right? If you're trimmed out properly, you don't even have to hardly do anything, and the nose will just start to sink on its own. Okay. You don't have to really worry about trying to over-control the plane at all.
Arcadia traffic, 17 November is clear runway.
Oh, sorry, I said 17, I meant 15. Like, I feel like we're not descending quite as fast. It's fine to be a little bit below now. Because Alright, there we go. Make a turn. Arcadia traffic, Sky 728 for Golf, turning left base runway 6 Arcadia. Keep a little bit more bank in.
Alright.
Otherwise the wind's kind of pushing us out a little bit far from the runway.
Traffic 6-1 here. Driving up the hill on left closer to downwind altitude. Runway 5.
Generally speaking, we want like closer to 20 to 30 degrees of bank. Not now because we're already here on base. So add a little bit of power to get us back up. Go back to 15. Then throw that next notch of flaps in. Now we're looking over here at this runway, trying to determine if we're high or low. And adjusting now before we even get to final. Making sure we're set up ahead of time early is going to make your landing that much better.
Okay.
We're just focusing in on coming in to land. So, go ahead and turn to final now. Again, looking at the end of that runway and adjusting your bank so that way you roll out perfectly in the middle. Go ahead and pull back the power to 15. 15 is going to keep you on the glide slope. So if we're on the glide slope, we need to kind of stay here at 15. Arcadia traffic, Sky 728 for Golf. Short final, runway 6, touch and go, Arcadia. Alrighty, so. Looking good. We're pitching for the end of that runway. What was that?
Another notch of flaps?
Yep, final. Push forward though, so when you put in those flaps, yep, that nose is going to climb up on you. Slow you down.
Now we're above the glides.
Yep, so just control it by adjusting power a little bit and pitch both. You kind of do both simultaneously. Really what we want to do, now we're back on it, so yep, add that power slowly back. A little more power. Too much, I guess, we're a little bit fast. But really you're trying to keep that spot at the end of the runway, kind of the same spot in your windshield the whole way down.
Gotcha.
So if you're correcting for that there, you're keeping that end of that runway that same spot in your windshield as you keep power in. You don't pull it out so quickly.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, there we go. Now you're coming down, now round out.
Woo!
A little bit early. Alright. Flaps are coming up, carb heat off. Full speed. Airspeed's alive. Alright, start to pull back. That was because you pulled out the power too early.
Okay.
You really don't want to pull out the power till we're over the runway.
Okay.
Especially in this airplane. So our sync rate was so fast that bounced just a little bit. It wasn't that big of a bounce, but a little bit of a hop. If that was bad enough, we would just do a go around. So in that hop, I would say go around or just push the throttle forward and you'll just take it right back off from that hop. That's usually the safest thing to do for the plane.
And then slowly add flaps back in.
Yeah, well, once you get up, you just take off one notch of flaps, let our airspeed start to pick back up, and then we wait till we're at a safer altitude and our airspeed is starting to pick up, usually through like 55. Next notch of flaps and through like 65, 70, do that last notch of flaps.
Okay.
Just trying to let our airspeed start to pick back up and get a little bit farther away from the ground so we're a little bit safer. If you dump all those flaps at once, you dump a bunch of lift. Because those flaps are going in, they're creating lift.
800.
Yep. Arcadia traffic, Sky 728 for Golf, turning left cross on runway 6 Arcadia. Flaps create lift, and so when you take them out, you dump a bunch of lift. You gotta worry about dumping them out too quickly.
All right.
Go ahead and turn to downwind. Usually I only hold it here like 3 seconds. Like you're not staying too long.
Okay.
Arcadia traffic, Sky 728 for Golf, turning left downwind, runway 6 Arcadia.
Traffic, Sky, your Alpha is Pier 60 and water.
All right, so now again, we're looking out there trying to get some point to fly to.
Yeah, there's like a couple little white mounds out there. I've been just a little to the left of that is what I've been looking for.
Yeah, as long as you got some, I'll go throw on carb heap.
All right.
Make sure traffic, pick up the left crossing runway 5.
Alright, past their point, so it's going to pull back power.
The 15, correct?
Yep. And try to get those flaps in right away. That's going to help you get down, so you're not so high on final.
All right.
Now, you tell me when you think turn base.
Probably right about now.
Yep. Arcadia traffic, Skyx 728 for Golf, turning left base, runway 6, Arcadia.
Another notch of flaps.
Wait till we
level out.
Yeah. You can do it in the turn, but it's not usually recommended. It's a little more dangerous. As long as your airspeed's high enough. Which it is.
Actually really high.
Yeah, you're letting that nose drop on you. Shouldn't have to control it. Again, you should be able to kind of do its own and actually do nose up trim. Alright, Nick. When you pull back that power, that nose is going to drop on you. And too fast. So usually I'm trimming through every stage of the traffic pattern.
Okay.
And even on short final, I'll do a little bit of nose up trims. That way it's easier on me trying to pull back all the way. Alright, clear on final, no one's coming in. Wait a second before we make our turn. Alright, start your turn to final. Add a little bit of power. Kind of low. Again. Arcadia traffic, Skyx 728 for Golf. Turning final, runway 6, touch and go, Arcadia. Alrighty, last notch flaps. Looking for about 70. But again, now there's a little bit of shallower approach, right? Because we're kind of low. So pitch up just a little bit and kind of let us get kind of back on glide path. We're a little bit fast anyway, so that got us back to our airspeed closer to 70. And now we're on glide path.
Okay.
So if we're slow and below, we need to add some more power. But since we're fast and low, we can just pitch up. So now where the 6 is, I'm just going to try to keep that, or you're trying to keep that right in that same spot on your windshield. And really just adjusting your pitch in order to maintain that. So keep pushing forward a little bit. There you go. Got a little bit. And then, yeah, adjusting power is necessary. So pull back the power just a tiny bit. Not that much. Oh. There we go. Alright, so keep your hand on the throttle. And keep that nose coming down. Don't come up too much. Alrighty, so now slowly work the power out. And now slowly, so, yep. That wind's blowing us a little bit. You're a little bit high, so let that nose still come down. Alright. Wind's beating us up. Alright, don't pitch up that much. We have a tendency to pitch up too much on takeoff now because we had a little bit nose up trim.
Okay.
From when you're descending.
Okay.
We adjusted our trim setting. So there, you just round it off a little high. You did good on your approach and everything, but just when we rounded off, a little bit higher than it should have been. And so we had to kind of let it get down, and then because that sink rate was kind of hard, but still landed soft. So like I said, it's a tendency for every student pilot to just want to pitch up too early and really keep that nose coming down towards the runway.
Traffic Sky 460101, 3 miles west of Cal DC, 3,000 feet, maneuvering northbound, Clearwater.
Arcadia traffic sky 728 for Golf, turning left, crosswind, runway 6, Arcadia. Alright, we'll depart on the downwind.
Alright.
So just like we normally would here, round off and level off on the downwind, and then we'll just keep flying outbound on the downwind.
Okay.
A few ways that the AIM kind of recommends leaving non-tired fields, and this is one of them, is just, especially because that's the direction we need to go anyways, so it makes it simple. Kind of depart out this direction.
Traffic traffic,
the final, or downwind.
on the left base on the 5 short approach, chicken chip.
Arcadia traffic sky accept here for Golf, turning left downwind, runway 6, we'll be departing the area to the southwest, Arcadia. Because, again, this is defined terms, right? We got upwind, crosswind, downwind, base, final. So when we're on downwind like this and we're departing, everyone kind of has an idea, again, of where we are and where we're going to depart. They don't have to wonder where is southwest of the field? You know, is that 120 degrees? You know, where are you exactly? It's a little bit easier to kind of know where we are. All right, let's go up to 2,000.
All right.
Clear the traffic, Sky June Romeo, turning left base,
Okeechobee, you have a Cherokee out on a 8-mile final on the runway 5, other traffic advice.
clear traffic, Sky June Romeo, final 16 Clearwater.
Arcadia traffic sky 78 for Golf, departing the area to the southwest. Last call, Arcadia.
Arcadia traffic, lane 52727, 6 miles to the northwest. I'll be entering left downwind runway 6, touch and go. Arcadia.
Okeechobee traffic up to the 11, departure runway 5, left traffic, Okeechobee.
All right, we'll get a little bit further away from the airport here. Where are you pointing at?
Just I was gonna take care of some housekeeping.
Go traffic, side 13732 is 10 miles north over Lake Tarpon inbound. We're going to join the left base runway 16 forward.
We're far enough kind of out now. We're going to do some clearing turns. So let's do a left 90-degree turn.
All right.
Out that way.
Arcadia traffic, sky lane 52727, 3 miles north-northwest, entering left downwind runway 6, touch and go, Arcadia.
Out, you're climbing a little bit.
Okeechobee, you have a Cherokee on a 4-mile final, runway 5 at Okeechobee, other traffic advice. Okeechobee, how far are you? 4 miles.
That guy made his call 4 miles out.
Okeechobee traffic, like up to the 11.
It's not suggested to ever say any traffic in the area advised, because then if there's a bunch of people on the radios that all key in at the same time, it just cause a bunch of confusion and everyone's confused. So
Gotcha.
the best thing to do is just swap to that frequency a little bit early and kind of just pay attention. Yeah. Be vigilant as a pilot, and you don't have to worry about saying that. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of slow flight as we're kind of headed back. So
Okay.
we've done our clean turns. We've got some kind of point off in front of us, or a heading bug. I mean, we can fly to the little reservoir thing if you want, or a heading bug, something that kind of point us in a general direction. We got an altitude 2,000 feet, so we're good there. And then airspeed configuration. So airspeed, we're wanting to go ahead and try to slow down to just above stall. So how do we do that? Yep, pull back that power. So we're going to pull that back to 1,500 or so, really get us slowing down here. Pitching up to kind of maintain our altitude here at 2,000. Now we're a little bit high, so it's okay to let the nose kind of drop a little bit. And once we're below 100, we can start to add those flaps in. So go ahead and add, and then you can add them in fairly quickly. I mean, you want to pause a little bit in between, just to kind of make sure you're not losing control of the plane. Not a race to get there, but all right, so a little bit more flaps. There we go. Now we're trying to maintain 2,000 here, so you're going to need a lot of nose up trim. As it's getting slower, add nose up trim, and then add that power back. So go ahead and add power back right now, all the way to 2,000. Or 1950, somewhere on there, right about there. There you go, here's our flight. We did about right, just about time to do it. So we're sitting about 55, 60, maybe pretty close where you want to try to maintain slow flight here. So we got to maintain our heading, maintain our altitude. We're still climbing a little bit. So what that means is probably slightly too much power. Ever so slightly, because we're using our pitch to control our airspeed and power to control our altitude.
Arcadia, to the north beam, the Dunning Causeway inbound. We're going to join a left base.
So if we,
Left downwind, runway 5 for short approach.
now we're a little bit high. Let's say we want to go down to 2,700, do a left turn to the south. We're going to get that set up. So first, go ahead and pull back the power to start a descent. So let's get to 15. Let that nose drop a little bit. Just enough, not too much though, because we don't want our airspeed to pick up. Right, but just enough to kind of start our descent.
Okay.
And we start our left turn. Again, no more than 10 degrees bank. And you notice that that's pretty close to standard rate anyways. More, so that's a little bit too much bank. Using those rudder pedals. Need it, a little bit of left rudder. Yeah, there you go. Keep that ball in the middle. That keeps us from getting. You'll notice a little bit more when we're doing slow flight, a little bit with the rudders. All right, round out here. Watch our airspeed, making sure we're trying to keep it below 60. Pitch up just a little bit. Keep pitching back to kind of get below 60 there. Again, you can always use a little bit of trim to kind of help you if you're having to hold back really hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you let go, what does the yoke want to do? Yeah, so you still need nose up trim.
So that's down like that? Okay.
It's kind of the reverse, the opposite there. Okay, we're at 1,700, so we're going to add that power back. 1,900. Yep, there you go. Yep, not letting that nose kind of creep up in you. Don't want to push forward too much, right? We shouldn't really be seeing too much of the ground.
Okay.
Because we're at a higher angle attack. We're still descending. So add a little bit more power. There you go. So now that we're back at this setting, you're trimming for an airspeed, so we had to retrim. Maybe. I don't know if you're having to push forward now because we added the power back in. Sometimes when you add that power back in, that nose wants to come up now.
There you go. That's nice right there.
And again, just being mindful of your rudder pedals, trying to stay coordinated. The quickest way, you know, when you get into a spin, is stalling the plane uncoordinated. So as long as you're stalling the plane coordinated, you most likely aren't going to get into a spin. It'd be very hard or very rare for that. So as long as you're staying coordinated, and even if we stall, how do we recover from a stall? All right, so yeah, let's do that. So let's pretend like we're pretty much set up for a power off stall. Right, so let's actually push the nose forward to get back up to 70 because we want to do like we're coming in for a nice easy landing.
Okay.
So go ahead and pull back the power a little bit to 1,500 like we are if we're coming in to land like we just were practicing in the pattern. As we start descent here, we're going to stay at around 70. And then, yep, we pull back the power too early to round off, so go ahead and pull back the power all the way to idle. Level off here, hold off. Recovery is just going to be letting that nose drop, adding full power, and taking off a notch of flaps immediately. Keep pulling it back, holding it back. Alright, there's the stall. Full power, all the way. There you go. Notch the flaps up. There you go. Now we want to pitch up. We want to see a positive rate of climb on that VSI. It's a little bit delayed. There we go. Positive rate. Okay, next notch up. 355. Next notch. 265. We're climbing away from the ground. Look out a little bit off the heading. Good job recovery. You probably pushed too far forward on the nose. So let's go ahead and turn to the west. Turn a little bit sharper. Nice. 20, 30 degrees. All right. So that's kind of clearing turn. Just on recovery, we don't need to be coming straight towards the ground to recover. It's just a little bit to break that stall. And then immediately full power. You waited a little bit to do full power. All right, so power on stall. We just departed, clean configuration, correct altitude here. We'll keep our from climbing. We're at our altitude, so you can pull back the power. Or pull back the power. If I'm doing maneuvers, I usually keep it about 2,000. But anyways, we're going to slow down to do a power on stall. So go ahead and pull back the power to 15. We'll just maintain our altitude here. Once you get to 70, full power, pitch up. And again, recovery is just pitching forward this time. But we just need to push forward enough to kind of break that stall, not necessarily come, straight down. Or a little bit of a descent, so keep pitching back to give that the last little bit of 70. There we go. So right rudder as you put in full power. Very good, all the way in. Yep. Pitching up. Alright, that's the stall. Pushing forward. Right about there. Go. Keep it, let it come down. Airspeed coming up. There we go. Pitching up. We want to see a positive rate on that VSI. Alright, positive rate. And we're good. We can recover. Perfect. That was much better. Alright, listen to the weather.
Monitor tower information, Oscar time 1450 Zulu weather. Wind 070 at 5, visibility 10. Sky condition 2,300 broken. Temperature 2.23, altimeter 3010. Arousal departure, expect runway 4, visual.
Alright, Oscar. Yep. So, call us who we're talking to, who we are, where we are, and what we want. So, Punta Towers, Skyhawk 728 for golf, 9 miles to the north, inbound, full stop with Oscar.
Okay. Punta Gorda Tower, Cessna, November 7284 Golf, 9 miles to the north, inbound, full stop.
Oscar.
With Oscar.
Okay, let's turn.
728 for Golf, Punta Gorda Tower, report 2 north for left downwind, runway 4.
2 north, left downwind 4.
2 north, left downwind, runway 4, 84 Golf.
Alright, you got the field in sight?
Yes.
Alright, so we'll kind of fly towards the middle of the field.
456 Alpha Charlie.
We're going to set this on runway 4.
Execute your climb out at the approach end numbers, please.
So we're kind of coming in, you see almost at a 45 at this point. You kind of look out and kind of see the runway there.
Yep.
So we're going to enter at a 45 and just enter a left downwind.
Okay.
And he said report 2 miles out.
Okay.
So we'll report 2 miles to the north. As far as descending, we need to lose about 1,000 feet.
Touch and go, just on the go, when able
10 divided by 3, or 1,000 divided by 300, will drop off to 0. So 10 divided by 3 is roughly 3. And we want to get to that altitude 3 miles out. So about 6 miles out is when we can start a descent. We'll pull it back to 17, start a nice easy 500 foot per minute descent, and we'll be right at our altitude about 3 miles out.
When able, start your right turn.
Good indication too that, I mean, we can even switch it to where we're 5 miles out when we start a descent, and then when we get to about 1,000, we should be right at our point to go ahead and give them a call. But it's usually a little bit nicer to probably get that altitude level off, kind of prepare yourself mentally, and then be able to give them a call. That way you're not trying to do too much all at the same time.
All right.
3 miles to the west. Punta Gorda Tower, flying 662 stop, runway 4 VFR today.
Number 5662 Victor, Punta Gorda Tower, hold short runway 4.
Holding short runway 4 Victor.
Number 456 Alpha Charlie, fly runway heading on the go is fine.
Runway heading on the go, 6 Alpha Charlie.
Number 92 Victor, heading 070.
Whiskey is reporting 2.2 miles to the west in the downwind.
Number 699 2 Golf, verify you're heading 070.
don't want to start our descent quite yet. No. Alright, we can go ahead and start our descent now. So we'll go ahead and pull back our power to 17. Yeah, just 17. Yep, there we go. A little bit of nose up trim. Not too much. Just it doesn't take much. Just a tiny bit. That way we can. That might have been too much now.
Number 6 Alpha Charlie, maintain.
We want to try to maintain 500 per minute
traffic off
descent.
your right side. That
So usually on that it's going to be a few notches.
We're going to keep you on the runway heading
We'll
for
keep
now.
us close to about 500
We got him in sight
feet per minute.
and stay runway heading for now, 6 Alpha Charlie.
Number 6 Alpha Charlie, even better is maintain visual separation with that traffic. He'll be in a right turn any moment and contact the Mars departure. Let them know you get the visual.
We got him and we'll keep our distance. Over to departure, 456 Alpha Charlie. Tower 86 Whiskey has made multiple calls.
So as we cross this road here, where this intersection is to the bridge, this is usually kind of about 4 miles out where their airspaces start.
Okay.
So we're just now kind of entering their airspace.
That had to be resolved. That was of higher urgency.
Okay. Thank you, 86 Whiskey.
So 4 miles out now. We need 2 more miles before we need to give them that call.
566 to Victor, hold short. I've got one more arrival. We'll get you out right behind him.
I'm watching him 6 Victor's holding short.
So when you give them a call, you can just say, November 78 for Golf, 2 miles north. Okay? Just simple as that, right? We're just letting them know, hey, we're 2 miles north, so. We got a little bit. About another mile or so.
Number 7284 Golf, just join the midfield left downwind runway 4, I'll call the base.
Midfield left downwind, you call base, runway 4, 728 for Golf. So we don't have to report now. Okay. He just said, go ahead and just enter the left downwind, but don't turn base until I tell you. Gotcha. So we're coming up here on 1,000 feet. And what do you know, we are 3.1. We are 3 miles out at about 1,000 feet, which is right where we wanted. Okay. So our calculations worked out pretty good. We're going to add our power to 2,000 and stop our descent because we don't want to go below 1,000 here. The 2,000 RPMs is going to keep us pretty close to 90.
662 Victor, runway 4, cleared for takeoff, say direction.
Venice, left hand out, please.
And you may need a little bit of nose up
62
trim
Victor,
there.
left turn on course approved, sir.
62 Victor.
Oh, we'll see. It may not. May actually need a little bit nose forward trim.
786 Whiskey, you can make right traffic and report midfield.
786 Whiskey, making right traffic, reporting midfield.
Alright, let's go ahead and nice and easy, slowly make our right turn here.
Morning Tower, helicopter Airman 5.
Airman 5, want to go to tower?
Yes sir, on the deck below you, looking for a...
We'll square up here with the runway.
Outbound to Arcadia.
Airman 5, departure at pilot's on risk, proceed on course, wind 09011.
0901.
Very good. Squared up here. We'll just keep out flying until he tells us to turn base.
And calling tower, I'm sorry, I have some background noise. Say again your request.
Turkey 7786 Whiskey would like to request a stop and go, sir.
7786 Whiskey, roger. Runway 4, cleared stop and go.
Alright, cut back just a little bit left. We're getting a little bit far out from the runway. Okay.
728 for Golf, you'll be number 2. Following Cherokee, beam the numbers for right base, stop and go. I'll call your base probably right about 41.
Roger that, 8 for Golf. Oh, he's over there. That's the guy we're following behind. Right above the horizon, right off our wing.
Okay.
We're flying with him. He's on the horizon right now, just below the ground there.
Pyramid 5, you may see
cut back right now, just a little bit.
To your left.
Cut back right.
Now west-northwestbound towards Venice.
That's pretty close. Just don't turn left. Whatever you do, don't turn left. We don't want to get too close to them. So he said probably about 41 here, so we're getting right across the 41. We'll see. He didn't want us to make the judgment call though. Still got him in sight. He's turning final. There he is. We're about to exit their airspace.
7284 Golf, left base approved.
Turn and left base, April Golf. Alright, so these turns here are usually about 20 to 30 degrees. In a pattern, you should be about 20 to 30 degrees. No more than 30, especially, and then to turn the final, we really want to make sure we don't go over 30, because your stall speed picks up the more you bank. More of a load factor.
Number 728 for Golf, runway 4, clear to land, wind 100 at 9, or traffic over the number can be a stop and go.
Roger that, clear to land, runway 4, April Golf. Alright, so now,
5, no other known traffic, frequency change approved, your discretion.
again, 3 to 1 rule. We need 1,000 feet to lose, divided by 300, that's about 3 miles out, we will lose 1,000 feet. Well, give or take. Well, we're about 3 miles out. So that's when we want to start a descent, is as we're kind of turning the final here. So yeah, let's go and pull back to power now a little early. Pull back to 15. On that notch of flaps. That way we're not trying to do it in the turn. And go ahead and turn the final. We have a little bit extra time now to kind of square it up, so. A little bit too steep there. Maybe just turn a little bit early. I think that wind's blowing harder than I thought.
Underwater Tower, November 1514 with you on the ILS 4.
November 14814, Punta Gorda Tower, continue, expect your clearance about 3 mile final.
Continue, 1514.
Alright, we're going to do it next notch. Flaps. Add a little bit of power back. We're still low, so gonna round, just kind of pick up your nose because we're just kind of round off for a second. There we go, we're starting to get closer now. One, right.
November 14814, runway 4, cleared low approach, execute to Mr. Approach on the go, wind 100 at 10.
Cleared low approach, runway 4, 1514.
Alright, there we go. Now we're back on glide path. Gonna pull like the power to 15 again. Not just a 15, not too much. On final, it's like really, really tiny power changes. Then we'll go to that last notch of flaps. Very good, not let it balloon. Alright, you're sinking a little bit too fast. Try to keep that, it's gonna be like the stripe past 4. Kind of what we're aiming for. So aim for that stripe right past the number 4.
Alright.
Try to keep that right in that same spot on your windshield the whole way down. Add just a touch of power. Thinking a little bit fast. Yeah, keep your hand there on the throttle. You'll be making a lot of power changes.
Number 778, 6 Whiskey, continue downwind. Number 2, you're going to follow Skyline traffic, or question Cessna traffic crossing 41.
All right, there you go. Pull back
we'll
power all the way
continue,
out.
we'll continue
Keep it,
downwind,
let it come
86
down.
Whiskey.
There you go. Looking at the end of that runway. Hold it right here. Just perfect. Pull it back a little bit. Perfect. All right, so don't hit the brakes. We want to actually add a little bit of power here. Add some power. We want to try to get to Charlie as fast as we can.
November 7284 Golf, turn left Charlie, contact ground 119.55.
Left on Charlie, contact ground 84 Golf. There we go. Now we'll kind of hit the brakes just a touch to slow on up. Get off the runway here. Alright, a little more brakes. There we go. With a complete stop on the other side of this. We gotta get our whole plane past it though.
When I go to Tower Archer 824.
Alright, there we go. Hold it up here. We're gonna swap over the ground. No, throttle back to 1,000 too. Always back to 1,000. And we call them, say, you know, who we are, where we're on Charlie. Taxi to the FBO.
Upon I go to ground, November 7284 Golf is on Charlie, taxi to the FBO.
Number 7284 Golf, Punta go to ground, runway, correction, taxi FBO via Charlie and Delta cross 15.
Charlie Delta cross 15. Go ahead, say that.
Charlie Delta cross 15. 84 Golf.
Alright. A little bit too much power. There we go. So this is Charlie. Still a little bit fast. Alright, so cleanup flow is going to be these 4 items here. Right, so flaps up. Make sure to lean an inch. Throttle as needed, carb heat off. Is that the nose wheel? Probably going a little bit fast. I don't know. Alright, 3315. We cleared the cross. Looking left, looking right. Anyone? There we go. We'll let it roll past here as a little bit faster, just so we're not stopped on the runway too long. Alright, that's good. And now we'll slow up a little bit. There we go. That's good. Fine.
Or where are we going to put it?
Oh, I'll just park it up here at the front of the FBO.
Just turn right here?
Go all the way down.
All the way down.
Go the other side of these. Oh, come on. Alright, I'll slow it up now that we're on the ramp. There's people walking around.
Okay.
I'm gonna go really slow. That's good. Keep it coming left. I'm gonna keep coming. There's a yellow line up here in front of us.
Uh-huh.
We want to spin it around and have our main wheel stop there.
Okay.
So go ahead and spin it around here. Perfect. The left rudder now, straighten her up. Alright, throttle 1,000. Checklist. We'll double check the after landing since we just did the flow. After landing.
Radios.
We did all this, we were just
Okay.
double checking that we did it all.